Don loves surprises, especially when surprises are surprises to Don.
You're listening to Let's Talk Fantasy Football, where men of fantasy genius have realized, hey guys, we don't need real football skills to dominate on the fantasy field. Yeah. So slap on your pads and grab your helmet. Shit's about to get real.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Talk Fantasy Football. My name is Nick Walsh. I am your host tonight, and with me, I once again have not one, but two, count them, two co-hosts. That's right, I have Vinny Gonzalez. Vinny, what's going on?
Hello, hello.
And I have the D.O.N, Don Chrisman. Don, how are we today?
Yo.
Hopefully we don't get – that was a really weird intro. Hopefully we don't get technical issues like like our last one, like part one of this. If you haven't listened to part one, make sure you do go back and do that because you'll need it. And then you'll also need part two, which is what we're here to do now. But first, I want to give a quick shout-out to BenchBoss. You might know them as ViewPick. They are now BenchBoss. They are still, though, the revolutionary app that allows you to play fantasy football live while watching the game on TV. Predict the plays, the result of the play, and literally play fantasy football. You can sign up for the beta now by going to letstalkfantasyfootball.com/benchboss. I said calm weird, didn't I?
Cam.
We all knew Cam was going to be on this cast.
Yeah. Anyway, Also, guys, make sure you are subscribing to Let's Talk Fantasy Football on iTunes or your preferred podcast medium. And, give us a review if you would like to. We would prefer 5 stars, but we'll take whatever, I guess. We also do have the Let's Talk Fantasy Football apps for iOS and Android. They are pretty useful. Make sure you're downloading them. They are free. So, guys, we got 7 more games to get into. We got some reader questions to get into as well. Let's I guess just get right on into it. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Cool. Let's get into Arizona at Philadelphia. The Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite. The over/under here is 45. I guess we'll start on the Arizona side of the ball, and I'm going to start by saying fuck Larry Fitzgerald. I'm going to complain right off the bat here.
Why?
Because maybe not fuck Larry Fitzgerald, but
he's a nice guy, man.
He's the best.
He's a great guy.
And he's good.
Yeah, no, he is. But so what had happened was he was a bad play last week, and I was going to win our 6-man DraftKings contest.
Who won that, by the way?
Shrek did.
Shrek has been creaming us, dude.
And then, so this week I was going to win, and fucking Fitzgerald had 3 catches for 13 yards, and then they go to overtime. San Francisco can't punch it in on their end. Arizona gets the chance to come back. John Brown's touchdown doesn't get called a touchdown, which was stupid. He was in bounds. And then Larry Fitzgerald catches a touchdown, and Shrek wins by a point. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
That's a typical Shrek win, by the way.
Bad play on Shrek's part that worked out. All right, I'm done being bitter.
Try playing Shrek on Mario Party. Worst play.
Yeah, Shrek is kind of an all-around dick in very close games.
He's taking all your stars from you on the second to last turn.
Yeah, he's a real chance time piece of shit. So that doesn't surprise me that the Fitz thing worked out for him.
Unbelievable.
Chance time.
All right, let's start on the Arizona side of the ball. Like I said, they are almost a 7-point dog against the Eagles here. I'm not really on Carson Palmer, and there's really only one play that I am on this week for Arizona. It's Andre Ellington. Vinny, what do you think about Ellington? And then are there any other plays that you want on that team?
I'm actually on a lot of these guys. I don't agree that Palmer. I think Palmer's another guy you can stream. I mean, we saw Phillip have a pretty good game against him, almost hit 20. The Eagles have been very vulnerable to just getting passed on real hard. Their corners are not good. So their front 7 could wreak havoc against Palmer, but I think there's they'll be down. They're 7-point dogs, like you said. So I think they're going to have to pass a lot. I think the volume will be there, and I think they can get beat on the outside. I like what I think Jerron Brown has been coming into his own. He's playing a lot more snaps than John Brown, who is still coming along after several injuries. I don't like how fragile he's been, so I think they're kind of phasing him out. They're getting Jerron Brown more involved. Always love Fitz. J.J. Nelson's kind of on the outside of talking points again. But I do agree that Andre Ellington's a great play. He is basically the guy who's running away with the please start me while David Johnson is out kind of deal. So I do like what he's been able to do. It's just been they realize what Andre Ellington is, and they're going to feed him in that role, which is the pass catching back, which is amazing for PPR, especially on some bye weeks. He's a great flex play.
Okay, Don, what do you think about these guys?
I'm going to give you some below the surface analysis here, Walsh.
I like it.
While you say not to play Palmer, I agree with Walsh. Philadelphia is allowing 29.4 passing yards per drive, which is 29th in the NFL, while Palmer averages 26.2, which is 7th amongst all quarterbacks starting. So, which looks like his average is about to go up this week. Jerron Brown is cool, Vinny. I'm cool with that for the immediate future. I don't know about the long run. I think Fitzgerald, you have to play him every year. Again, I always say it. I always think this is going to be the year that he regresses. I mean, he's up in age, but I guess he's just going to continue to dominate. And PPR league, I'm very cool with Andre Ellington as well, but I am cool with Carson Palmer to be picked up, played, and to go with this week.
Okay, interesting. That's I mean, you guys are definitely making me reconsider that a little bit. Regarding Ellington and just how viable the PPR target he is, 14 targets this past week as a running back. That's insane. I know they went to OT, but still, that's worth looking at. You guys both mentioned Jerron Brown. He had 12 targets this past week. Him and Fitz were both in on 95% of the snaps. So at this point, they are clearly the number 1 and 2 receivers. John Brown was in on 60-something percent. J.J. Nelson only 29% of the snaps. That being said, Bruce Arians is kind of an asshole when it comes to his wide receiver snaps. I love Bruce, but I don't know if I buy any of that really going forward. So while I think this week you guys are right, Jerron Brown might be a play, and I don't know. I never get Fitz right, so just don't listen to me on him, and I'm not even going to give an opinion on him. But while I think Jerron Brown might be a play, it's also possible John Brown is just the number 2 this week, or maybe J.J. Nelson is. I don't fucking know. So that's kind of my take on it.
That's also fair. I forgot about Bruce. I got really excited when I was like, yeah, Jerron Brown's got like 12 targets in this game. But
Bruce Arians to receivers as Belichick is to his running backs.
Very good
Jerron Brown,
comparison.
though, in terms of snap percentage, not always targets, but in terms of snap percentage, Jerron Brown has been a 1 or 2 guy for them for pretty much the whole year. So there's definitely smoke to that fire, or fire to that smoke, whatever.
And actually, every game that he's technically started, he has had a good week for fantasy. I think he scored 9 plus in every matchup that he started. So I do like him.
He's your second receiver for them.
Yes, for now.
All right.
Like Walsh said, for now.
Right, immediate future.
Cool. Eagles side of the ball. We mentioned them as a whack-ass backfield a couple weeks ago. Darren Sproles goes down. I don't know if they're that whack-ass anymore. Vinny, talk to me about this backfield and what you think about Blunt, Smallwood, and then Corey Clement, I guess.
It definitely got more clear. It's just they're going to run Blunt a lot. That definitely worked against the Chargers, but they are pretty shitty at run defense. So you can maybe sell a little high on Blunt. I mean, he got a huge workload. I don't know about that going forward, but they're going to give him at least 10 carries a game. So in a world where running backs are pretty shit, I like what Blunt's doing for now. But we definitely saw Wendell Smallwood become the passing back, filled immediately into the Sproles role. He got very lucky on punching it in. I think that's more Blunt's job, but he was winded from getting it all the way down there. So Wendell got very lucky on that punch in. So don't get used to that. But the passing work, which was, I think he got 6 targets, 4 catches. You can probably rely on that. I think that's pretty much his floor. And I guess his ceiling would be anything more than that in a crazy shootout, which definitely could happen. It could possibly happen this week, but definitely throughout like the season, they're bound to have a few. So it's not really whack at all. It's pretty straightforward, actually.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this week Arizona's rush defense is significantly worse than their pass defense. I'm all about LeGarrette Blount. Don, talk to me about the passing targets for the Eagles against this Arizona defense.
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz is going to finish top 5 at least with tight ends. He's averaging almost 7.5 receptions and averaging almost over 85 yards a game on 10 targets per game. That's pretty crazy. you can say that's Carson Wentz's number one guy. So you have to continue to roll him. I'm still cool with playing Alshon Jeffrey. He's always higher than a wide receiver 30 in every week. Obviously, you want more than that, but I still think against Arizona, you're still going to play Alshon Jeffrey. Those are the only two targets receiving-wise that you're going to play.
Vinny, what do you think about those targets?
Yeah, Zach Ertz is fantastic. Must play. Tight end 1 for sure. With Alshon Jeffrey, he's the targets are there, and they want to get him involved. So I do like Alshon. It's just like you said, Don. He's top 30, and you want more. But I feel like eventually it'll come because he's still getting the targets. So he could be a buy low for a lot of people. I think he's a buy low for me. And during this game, though, I would not play him because Patrick Peterson's going to shut him the fuck down.
I am 100% with you. I don't like him this game. I think he's a buy low overall, but if there's one cornerback in the league, just because he shadows as much as he does that I'm terrified of, it's Patrick Peterson. So I am not on him this week. Do we have anything else for this game? Any other guys that we need to go over?
Did we say Carson Wentz? I think he's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think he's kind of working into that kind of every week kind of stardom. He's been pretty good. It's a tough matchup. I don't know, Walsh, you've been the Carson Wentz dude. What do you think?
Not on him this week, personally. I'd rather start Jacoby Brissett, but that's potentially just me getting too pumped on a streamer. But
that Wentz has a better floor than Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett should have a higher ceiling this week. I would still probably go Wentz over Brissett, but if you can sit Wentz, this is the week to do it.
That's a good call.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and pick this one. Don, who you got?
I'm still going to go Philly.
Vinny?
I'm going to take Arizona in an upset.
Ooh, I'm going to go Philly with Don. All right, let's move on to Carolina at Detroit. Detroit here, 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44, so not that high scoring. I really have no strong opinions about this entire game. So I don't know. Don, you like talking about Cam. Tell me about the Carolina offense. What do you think here?
It's so funny that you say that because I actually probably the one team that I have watched the least is Carolina. I'm actually excited for this game, though. Carolina is surprisingly very good, even though we've talked about in the podcast past few weeks of how Cam has really not been very good, obviously, other than last week against the Patriots. It's going to be, for the most part, a high-scoring game. Cam looked good against New England. We know that their defense stinks, but I'm still cool with actually putting back Cam and playing him this week. I know we were talking about dropping him last week, but I think he now redeemed himself a little bit.
Ooh,
I'm not on that.
Yeah, Don, I disagree with pretty much everything you just said. I think this is going to be super low scoring. Detroit right now is the number one defense, at least fantasy-wise, and they shut people the fuck down. Panthers have a great defense. I think it's going to be pretty much like we saw last week with the Lions versus the Vikings. I think it's going to be 14-7, somewhere in that realm. I don't think it's going to be very exciting, but it will be close.
Yeah, I think there's 3.5 total plays in this game. I think on the Carolina side, I'm willing to roll out Funches again because I think Darius Slay will primarily be on Kelvin Benjamin.
Definitely.
Which should get Funches open. He had a great week. I know he had 2 touchdowns, but he's getting a lot of targets. I'm into Funches again this week. I think McCaffrey is a maybe play in PPR, but you don't have to play him if you have better people. So he was kind of the half play. And then on the Detroit side, I think you have Tate and Abdullah, and that's literally it. That's all I want to do in this game.
That was well said. Well put, Walsh. I think you're pretty much dead on, except you didn't talk about Ebron at all.
I can't, man. Don't bring up those. You're putting salt in the wound.
Nah, Ebron.
Is as good as Jay Cutler.
Shut up.
Shut
man.
the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Don't fucking.
Oh my god.
Shut up, dude.
So yeah, Cam's gonna redeem himself.
All right. Well, Don. So
he did that last week. He's done now.
So Vinny, it sounds like you're on my side in terms of the Carolina plays. On the Detroit side, because I kind of glossed through that completely. I think Carolina's run defense is not great. And the thing is their target distribution has been really flat the past couple of weeks. Like Tate had a lot the first couple, and then these past two, it's been a lot of different people getting different targets. So do you guys think there's anyone other than Tate worth playing in that Detroit passing game? And then do you think Abdullah is the correct play at running back?
Yeah, Abdullah had a bad matchup last week and proved me really wrong. He had like his best game so far this season, which I don't think any of us predicted, but he just kind of went off. So I think this would be the right time to plug him back into your lineup. Again, with the bye week stuff, he might be your best option. And I think for the same reason of bye weeks, I think Marvin Jones could work his way into some lineups just because he's on the field like over 90% of the time. He gets anywhere from 5 to 6 targets and always has the touchdown upside. So I think he could be like an I don't want to do it, but I might have to kind of deal. I'm sure there's better options, but it's just something to look at during some sketchy bye weeks.
Yeah, I agree with the Marvin Jones. I don't agree with Amir Abdullah. I don't think Amir Abdullah is going to have a good week this week. Panthers defense has actually been pretty good against the rush, especially in the red zone too. If you think any of them are going to punch it in, they're only allowing 2 red zone opportunities per game, which is tied with Denver for fewest in the league. So that's pretty cool. Agree on the Denver side that I think the 2 pass catching can actually be both Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. But for Detroit wise, running back, I'm not playing either, and not Theo Riddick yet at all.
So you're out on Riddick too?
Yeah, I'm out on Riddick too.
No Riddick.
You're out as well, Walsh?
Yeah, I own him in like a couple leagues, and like I'm so fucking sick of it, man. Like, he's been the worst so far this year.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, last year he was very solid with just the amount of targets he was getting. Also, no Abdullah, so seeing him plugged back in, Theo has not been getting really anything. It's been pretty shitty.
Yeah, no, it's been nothing at all. It's worth noting too, Kenny Golladay is probably not going to play, so that makes the Marvin Jones play a little bit more attractive than it would have been previously. Is there anything else that we need to cover this game?
No.
Who you guys got, Don?
I'm going Cam with the win.
I'm going to take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions too. Seattle at Los Angeles. This is the other game outside of San Francisco, Indianapolis that has kind of a lower over-under. This one is 47. The Rams are a 1.5-point favorite. Think this could be a shootout. Let's start on the Seattle side of the ball. They've been a weird team up and down week to week so far. Vinny, what do you think about Russell Wilson and then the pass catching options first?
So I'm definitely in on Wilson. We just saw Dak in a complete shootout with the Rams last week. They're pretty much very similar play types. So I think Russell Wilson is going to go off. So I think he's a great play. Probably, I think one of the top 5 plays of the week for Russell Wilson. So I would throw him in there. And pass catchers, Doug Baldwin not practicing again. So I think he's going to pull the same shit he did last week, which was not practice and then was kind of on a pitch count in the Colts game. So it was a little weird. He only saw, I think, 4 targets. But I do agree with the sentiment that if your starter or one of your top guys is playing, you throw him in there if healthy. If not, Paul Richardson is going to, take over that kind of share again, as well as Tyler Lockett, who we saw were both pretty serviceable, even with Doug Baldwin out there going in and out of snaps. So I think if Doug Baldwin should miss, which I don't expect him to, you could play either of those guys. And you might even be able to sneak them in if you really have to. I think they have been getting enough targets where they could make something happen, and they kind of both possess big play abilities. So I think you could get away with those plays, but they're kind of in like the Marvin Jones area for me.
Okay, Don, what do you think there?
Yeah, I really don't disagree with much of that. I think Russell Wilson kind of has finally turned it around. I think this is where we start to see the Rams decline a little bit as well. Tyler Lockett over Richardson, though. I think Tyler Lockett is the clear-cut number 2 receiver. So with if Baldwin's out, I think he will be the number 1 target for Russell Wilson. I'd play him before Richardson. But I think Russell Wilson's going to have a good game. Tyler Lockett, I would be okay with playing. Running back wise is scary. So, but those are the two guys I would. Russell Wilson definitely. Tyler Lockett, if you want to play him in a flex, that's fine.
Okay, fair enough. I really don't have an opinion on this. I would pretty much just be playing Baldwin. But in terms of the running situation, obviously we saw Chris Carson go down, broken ankle. It sucks a lot, and he underperformed in that game relative to what we expected going forward. Do you guys have any sort of opinion on this backfield going forward, or is Pete Carroll just an asshole?
The last thing I saw was like a few days ago was Pete Carroll said Thomas Rawls is going to be the leading running back.
I am not putting any stock into what Pete Carroll says.
Right.
Yeah, that's all we
exactly,
do.
Exactly.
He's one of the few coaches that talks to the media and like just spews shit, and it's all wrong. So
yeah.
Don't like he's the last thing I saw, Don, was the Rawls and Eddie Lacy will share the number one workload. So I'm like, fuck this shit. Do not want to do that.
Yeah, I'm not touching running backs at all with Seattle this week.
Even J.D. McKissick, don't fall for that shit. He, I think, got 3 carries, 2 touchdowns. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page. I mean, particularly with Procise, like maybe being back soon, J.D. McKissick is not worth even picking up. Let's go over to the Rams side of the ball. Todd Gurley, I think, is the number one running back play of the week outside of maybe Le'Veon Bell. Like, if you don't have Todd Gurley in your daily fantasy, like cash game lineups, I think you're a fucking idiot. But outside of that, is there anyone on this team that you're specifically targeting? I know, Don, you had Sammy Watkins in one lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I have Sammy Watkins in a few leagues. He was really nice for that 49ers game. Came back from the concussion. There was nothing. I think, to be honest, the most consistent receiver would be Cooper Kupp. But then you also see flashes of Robert Woods. Robert Woods would have had another good game if they said that was a touchdown. So I'm kind of like up in the air with these receivers. I would really like to say Sammy Watkins. I think he's the most talented receiver. You don't know, but I think, honestly, the most consistent actually is Cooper Kupp. I'd be okay with him playing with it as a wide receiver 3 with Cooper Kupp or flex.
Yeah, I think it sucks, but I think Sammy Watkins and Woods you can safely sit. I only say that because, you know, the corners for Seattle are pretty good. Richard Sherman's going to be on one of them at a time. So, yeah, he won't be shadowing, but when they're on that side of the field, he's going to shut them down. So, and Sammy Watkins might not be totally healthy coming back from the concussion or whatever. But, yeah, I wouldn't be willing to risk it. But I'm with you, Don. I think the way to beat the Seahawks is over the middle. Cooper Kupp will be doing some of that shit. So, I do like him this week.
Yeah, I'm on Cooper Kupp as well. I think he's the way to go in terms of the passing game. He'll be in the slot, which the Seahawks struggle against more so. And just a couple stats on Gurley. Seattle is 30th in DVOA in terms of rushing DVOA. And they've given up over 5 yards per carry through the first 3 weeks, not counting week 4. That was against Frank Gore. I don't count that. He's not a real running back. So one of my I don't know if it's controversial or not takes for this year is that Seattle's run defense is bad, and I think Gurley is the best play of the week this week. So go ahead with that, see what happens, and go from there, and then continue with Cooper Kupp as well. Is there anyone else we need to talk about in this game?
No.
All right, I'm taking the Rams, and I think they're going to cover that 1.5 point spread by a lot.
I'm going to take the Seahawks.
I'm going to go Seahawks too.
Cool. I'll just fuck myself.
Yeah, bitch.
No one does it better.
All right, let's move on to the game that I want to talk about least this week. It is Baltimore at Oakland. Oakland is somehow a 2.5 point favorite with an over-under of 40, so low-scoring game. Not much fantasy potential this game. On the Oakland side of the ball, Derek Carr has a broken back. E.J. Manuel is going to start this week. Michael Crabtree is likely going to be back, which is nice. I don't know, man. I literally don't know if there's anyone I want to play on either team in this entire game outside of Jared Cook. Don, can you convince me otherwise?
Not really. I mean, can we talk about like Amari Cooper and possibly like being one of the biggest busts of the year so far.
Yes.
So, yes, but I think he's a buy low.
Also, yes.
I'm not against it. I mean, the guy's talented.
He's way better than what he's done so far this year.
Definitely. I mean, 100%. I have Cooper in one league, and I was looking at the stats today. I was like, oh, my God. Like, this is piss poor. But, yeah, I don't know if I even played Jared Cook. I don't know if I'm playing any type of pass-catching receiver from Oakland this week. I'd be okay with if you have to roll Lynch out, but that's about it. That's the only Oakland player I'm playing.
I think you could sit Lynch, man. He's been so bad, so very bad, and the Ravens have a great rush D for some reason. I don't know if I'm comfortable playing Lynch at all.
Yeah, I'm not playing Lynch either. Like I said, I think the only guy I really want to play there is Jared Cook. I think the Baltimore cornerbacks are very good. I think it's possible Cook gets open in the middle of the field. Manuel seemed very willing to target him this past week. On the Baltimore side of the ball, Buck Allen, the running back core is just weird there. Buck Allen had the most snaps. He had 58%. Alex Collins looked the best and also produced the most, but he also fumbled. Terrence West had 4 carries for -7 yards. So,
dude, it's
probably don't do anything with him.
That's like the same stat line every week. Like it's the same thing. Oh, like Alex Collins looks great and then he fumbles. Terrence West is losing yards on like single-digit carries, and then Buck Allen's nowhere to be found, but always on the field.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll have like 5+ targets, but like only gets like a couple catches and maybe like 27 yards from him. So I don't know. Where do you go in this backfield? Are you playing any of them, Vinny?
If I have to, it's Alex Collins. He has done the most with the least and should be out. Like he's earned the most playing time, I think. Terrence West is droppable to me. Buck Allen, I would hold on to him. I think you can get away with a play here. It's not something I would do. Really, really leaning Alex Collins out of the backfield if you have a choice.
Okay, and then looking at like tight ends and receivers, Ben Watson has kind of done some things. Macklin and Mike Wallace have had spots. Are you confident in any of them?
Dude, I think on the year, the Ravens might have 300 yards passing. Like, it's fucking so
Joe
bad.
Flacco's been the worst quarterback in the NFL so far.
Absolutely.
In a league where, like, Deshaun Kaiser and Mike Glennon have started. You know, like
he's so bad, dude. It's just this offense is terrible. Really bad.
Don, any opinions on that?
No, man, I agree with all of that.
All right, well, this game fucking sucks. I'm going to pick Oakland because I kind of have to in order to keep my sanity. What do you guys think?
Yeah, EJ Manuel's going to win this one. Jared Cook gets 2 touchdowns.
Man, I hope so.
I think just because Carr's not there, I'm going to go Baltimore.
That's the logical choice, I think.
Fuck you, Don. All right. And on that note, let's take a quick break here from our friends at BenchBoss.
This year, dominate your friends with free play-by-play fantasy football from BenchBoss. BenchBoss is the first play-by-play fantasy football game where you must think like the players and coaches on the field as you predict the outcome of every play. Earn rewards as you compete against friends and fans across the country. BenchBoss is currently recruiting beta testers, and we need you. Visit benchboss.tv to learn more and sign up today.
All right, guys, that was BenchBoss. Again, make sure you're checking them out. You can do so at letstalkfantasyfootball.com/benchboss. We got 3 more games. We got some listener questions. We're going to get into all of it here. Let's start with Green Bay at Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. See this to me. Dallas is a 2-point favorite with an over-under of 52.5. This is another game outside of weird injury situations where I think it's a just start everyone game. Don, start on the Green Bay side with me. Talk to me about what you think here.
I don't disagree on start everyone. I'll start with Green Bay because that's my team. Talk about injury-ridden. It's scary. Give you guys an update from what we have so far. Devontae Adams is limited in practice. He's still in the concussion protocol, but they believe he's going to play. If he does, I'm still playing him, and I'm obviously playing Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb's been a surprising surprise since the past 2 seasons. Before that, He's been kind of shitty, but he's
a surprising surprise.
You like that?
Don loves surprises, especially when surprises are surprises to Don.
He's been consistently a surprising surprise.
He's been consistently consistent and a surprising surprise.
Which means start Randall Cobb, start Jordy Nelson. Devontae Adams plays. I'm still down with Devontae Adams. Biggest thing that everyone's, I think, been running around with is if you pick up Aaron Jones. I'm going to say nay on that. Jamal Williams is already back to practicing, and Ty Montgomery also, they said it right away where the broken rib injury wasn't as bad as they originally thought. He might play, and Jamal Williams still should. So Aaron Jones, I'm going to say, don't even worry about picking him up, even though he had a decent play last week. Ty Montgomery goes, I'm playing him. If he doesn't, Jamal Williams is your guy to go with, and you always play Aaron Rodgers. So as far as Martellus Bennett goes, he's still not playable, but I think he might be a streamable 10 in the next few weeks because he's starting to pick it up a little bit.
Well, Vinny, Don says, ye old medieval Don says nay on Aaron Jones. What say you about this backfield?
Still hung up on the nay.
Yeah, I'm going to send over a nay as well. He was looking like the must pickup of the week, and then all of a sudden, you got Jamal Williams just like, I'm totally fine. My knee is cool. And then Ty Montgomery's like, yeah, my ribs aren't broken. Let's fucking go. So I think all three are going to be active. Aaron Jones is the least startable if they're all going.
So do we give a thumbs down?
Yeah, I'm naying, Don.
Oh,
thumbs
yeah,
down.
hard nay. Hard nay to Aaron Jones.
Kill Aaron Jones?
Yes, kill him. Kill him and fuck the other two.
Are you not entertained? I'm the same way. I pretty much agree with everything Don said, where you're playing everyone who's healthy. If Tymont goes, though, I don't know if I'm playing any of the running backs, even no matter who goes, unless it's Tymont and Jamal Williams both don't go, in which case it's a hard yay to Aaron Jones. It
is the softest hard yay on the surprisingly surprise of Randall Cobb, who's consistent. Who's consistently consistent.
Well, so here's the thing: is if Tymont and Jamal Williams go, I have no confidence that either of them are going to finish the game. Just based on their injury status.
Yeah,
so.
You don't want to play. And if they're all active, don't play anybody. I think even if it's Ty Montgomery, you don't have to. And I think since this is a 4:30 game, that I'm looking for other options immediately around the 1 o'clocks if you can. I would just avoid it completely. If you own Ty Montgomery, Williams, Aaron Jones, I would completely stay away. So I would play other guys that are viable throughout the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Dallas side of the ball, I mean, I feel like Dallas is pretty obvious at this point, and particularly in this game. I think Dak's one of the top quarterbacks on the slate. Zeke is an unbelievable start. And I'm playing Dez. I'm playing probably Cole Beasley. I'd love to play Bryce Butler. I don't know if I can. And I think Jason Witten's a play as well. Vinny, talk to me about Dallas.
I'm going to be all over Bryce Butler for our daily fantasy thing. Oh, yeah. He's going to be my low option flex guy.
I didn't look at his snap share this past week. Did he?
It was bad. It was bad.
He had 2 targets last week.
Yeah, it was not good.
That's what's killing him. You guys, I mean, listen, he came up with those touchdowns the past 2 weeks, and Bryce Butler is good. So I've been listening to you guys on the podcast talking about him, and he is good, but I'm still not comfortable. And I was looking at him, I'm still not comfortable playing with him just before the amount of snap shares and targets that he's still getting.
I agree, Don. It's so flaky that he's been doing well.
I just don't fucking get it.
Just get Terrence Williams.
Yeah, exactly.
Run out Dez and Bryce Butler every single week and make money off of it. Just,
that's all. It's so simple,
so easy. But whatever.
Yeah, he's very talented. He's made the most of his opportunities so far. But yeah, I agree, Don. You can't fuck with it. That's why I'm only fucking with it in our stupid daily league.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think. And then, what do you think about Jason Witten?
Nay to Jason Witten.
Thumbs down. Kill him.
Thumbs down. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I don't really have an opinion either way. So, who you got in this one, Don?
Rodgers. We're going to Green Bay, baby.
I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Going Green Bay as well. All right, so let's move on to the Sunday night game, the second to last game of the week. Kansas City, you all right there, pal?
Yeah, I'm good.
Kansas.
I'm gonna text Shrek to just bleep that out.
Did you? I didn't even hear what you said.
That's
Oh
good.
my god, that was really funny.
Oh no! All right, Kansas City at Houston. Wonderful. Kansas City at Houston. Kansas City. We're real off the rails. Kansas City at Houston is Kansas City is a 1.5 point favorite. The over under is 47 points. We'll start on the KC side of the ball, and like normal, they're easy. It's Smith, it's Hunt, it's Kelsey, and it's Hill. Is there anything else to say on that side?
Nailed it. That's it.
Donald?
I'm texting Shrek right now, but yes, I agree. Dude, Kelsey's the man. I know you're heavily invested with Kelsey this year, and what a year to pay off for it. So I agree with all three of what you said, but Kelsey's the man on that too. So
yeah, no, KC tends to they tend to have a very, very streamlined, centralized, what the fuck is the word that I'm looking for?
Offense?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't know. I had to retake a non-credited writing course. My in college because my vocabulary wasn't very good, so I don't know what you're looking for there, Walsh.
Okay.
That's a very roundabout way of saying that, Don.
I think what I was looking for was like share of their offense, basically. So they only run through a couple players, and they're basically Hunt, Kelsey, and Hill. So those are the guys to go with. Alex Smith has officially made his way into like a low-end QB1 at this point. So play Alex Smith too. The Texan side of the ball is an interesting one. Deshaun Watson is the darling of the fantasy football world after last week. Are you guys still on Deshaun Watson this week?
I'm cool. No, but I'm cool with.
That was a very quick change, Don.
I don't know against Kansas City, but I do like Deshaun Watson to be scooping up so that whoever you have as quarterback, if they're not on a bye week, that you do have them on your team.
Yeah, I think if he's on waivers now and you really like Deshaun Watson, which why wouldn't you? You can pick him up. I think you can. If that's the case and you want him like season long, I think you could pick him up, play him this week. He won't do that great, but at least he has that low floor somewhere like at the least, I guess, 10 points with his rushing upside. Yes, sorry. Yep, Fari. God, I'm so
Hey, sorry there, neighbor.
This needs to end. But yeah, so I think you can get away with playing him if you want to eat this game. If not, I think there are other people you can play. I don't think it's going to be that great for him.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I don't think this is the best week for him, but he is probably a guy who should be owned. In terms of their run game, I feel like the death of Lamar Miller was highly exaggerated.
Good.
Yeah. 23 touches this past week. He was used in the pass game as well as the run game, whereas Deontay Foreman is only being used in the run game. I think Lamar Miller is another start this week.
Yeah, I invested in us a lot, and when I heard the sit the fuck out of Lamar Miller, I did, and that was such a poor choice. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he went off.
Yeah, it was the first week I sat him in one league, and it was bad. So I think you got to go back to playing him.
Yeah, I kind of think it was an outlier kind of deal for Lamar Miller's season. Like he totally blew up. The
usage wasn't, though.
Yeah, that's why I think he's a sell high. Just get rid of him because it was definitely creeping closer from him and Foreman. So I think it's kind of going to return to that, especially in a game where it's not going to be them putting up a 50 burger.
Very cool at selling him high.
Okay, I think that's definitely fair. I mean, they did put up 50-plus points, so that makes sense. And then in their pass game, we have DeAndre Hopkins, an every week starter. I think the question here is, what do you think about Will Fuller? He came out hot, got 2 touchdowns, only 6 targets, but the Chiefs' corners in general tend to gamble a little bit more than others. Are you willing to start Will Fuller this week?
Not yet.
Yeah, I think if you start him this week, you're chasing points. Could it work out with the gambling corners? Of course, but I would not be on that side of the bet. I'd rather not.
Hopkins is my only receiver I'm playing for Houston right now.
Totally agree.
Okay, I'm willing to play Fuller. And then do either of you guys have interest in Ryan Griffin, that tight end?
No.
No.
Nah, not really. I mean, in the blowout, too, he wasn't really involved, so that was a little concerning. And then I think the Chiefs are pretty tough against the tight end, surprisingly.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Let's pick this one. I am taking Kansas City.
Me too.
Sweep it.
All right, last game of the week. We're finally done. We made it, boys. Until the listener questions. So
I'm gonna lay down and say nay before I go to bed.
Minnesota. It was that Cowboys-Packers game that got us off track completely. Anyway, Minnesota at Chicago. This is another game where there's no line yet because we don't know if Sam Bradford's actually going to play. What we do know is that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be kissing some titties in this game.
Who put that in there, Vinny?
No, I did.
Definitely Walsh.
So
Walsh has been waiting the past two podcasts just to say.
Oh, dude, have you seen the shirts that the Bears fans have?
Sundays
are for kissing titties.
It's so great because of his tweet. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's wonderful. For those of you guys who don't know, Trubisky has a tweet from probably when he was in high school.
Yeah.
When he got drafted, someone just looked back and found it, and he just has a tweet from 2012 or whatever that just says, "I love kissing titties." It's the funniest thing in the world. I immediately became a Trubisky fan. Anyway, let's start on the Bears side of the ball. Like I said, no line yet. Jordan Howard has made a huge resurgence. Tariq Cohen's kind of faded to the back, and Benny Cunningham has, for some fucking reason, gotten some work the past couple of weeks.
Sounds very John Fox-like.
Yeah, John Fox, maybe the biggest asshole. Don, we'll start with you. What do you think of this backfield? Which of them are you willing to start this week?
Jordan Howard, and that's about it. I've been playing Tariq Cohen in a few leagues, and it's just not working out. I think Jordan Howard's just your safest bet. I'm not going to Tariq Cohen right now. I think only Jordan Howard because John Fox, you just don't know what's going on right now.
Vinny?
I'm still a believer in Tariq Cohen. I think last week was a little weird. They just kind of didn't give him the touches, and I think they'll be here this game because you're going to have Trubisky having to a lot of dump offs, I think. So I could see Cohen going back to his kind of 6-7 target share, especially in a game where I think they're going to be playing from behind against an awesome defense. So I think the offense is going to have a lot of trouble. I do agree that Jordan Howard should definitely be played, but I think Cohen is still viable here.
I'm with you, Vinny. It might be bias. I think Tariq Cohen is very good. I own him in a couple leagues, and I kind of need him to do something for me. So I'm going to play him, and we'll see how it works out. I don't think you're playing any of the other Bears pass catchers. Kind of see how this week works out in terms of Trubisky coming in, see who gets targeted. But that's pretty much it there. Do you guys have anything else on the Bears?
I will say in the preseason, he targeted Adam Shaheen, the rookie tight end, a fuckload. So I guess the tight end could be a sneaky-ass streamer. It'd probably be Zach Miller, though, as opposed to Adam Shaheen, who's kind of the second tight end. So it's Miller's kind of always been in the streamer territory for tight ends, and I think in Trubisky's first start, he might kind of go to that safety valve in Miller, but that is just a desperate, I'm kind of just grabbing at straws for some positives here.
Don, you got anything there?
No.
All right, Minnesota, we got Dalvin Cook, obviously out, torn ACL. That sucks a lot. We have Latavius Murray. We have Jerick McKinnon. Which of those two guys do you prefer, Vinny?
I'm going Murray. I know he came out and said that his ankle isn't fully healed, but I like Murray a lot. He's got that big play potential, and he's going to get the early down work and the goal line work. And I think in a game where I'm expecting them to be up a ton, they'll be feeding him the rock a lot. So I do like Murray. I'd roll him out there with confidence too, because if you were one of those guys that lost Dalvin Cook, were fortunate enough, or one of those guys that just happens to pick up Murray, I think he's a great plug-in for, a nice running back hole that's on your team.
I think Latavius Murray is the guy to go to for the season. I don't know about right away. We don't know with the whole ankle issue, and I don't think he's a big playmaker, Vin. When he was in Oakland,
too.
Yeah, when he was in Oakland, it was more of he got a lot of goal line. So I think he's more of a red zone player, and he's going to get you some touchdowns this year. I don't know about a playmaker itself. So I'm not playing Latavius Murray right away. I think he's someone that needs to be picked up if he's on the waiver wire, because I think he's going to be the long-term running back that you need to play out of Minnesota. But this week I am not playing anyone from the running back in Minnesota.
I like your idea of not playing anyone from them this week. I like McKinnon long term, though. I think he's the better running back. I think he's got more potential. Yeah, I know
he's been bad forever.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen McKinnon though.
Yeah, dude, he's had so many chances too. Like
he's been behind a really bad offensive line for most of his career, though. I think their offensive line's a little bit better.
Like a little bit, but not a lot.
I don't know. I think I'd prioritize McKinnon over Murray, but I think it's very close.
So you got 3 takes on the running back, so you guys all have to choose one.
Yeah, you're fucked.
We are completely useless on this one.
Good luck on that. In terms of the wide receivers, the rest of the pass catchers, you're starting Diggs and Thielen, I think, every single week. Am I wrong there?
Faux show.
Absolutely.
And then no more Kyle Rudolph. He's done. He's not an option anymore.
I'm not playing Rudolph without Bradford.
Yeah, see, I think Bradford might be back, so I think Rudolph could work his way back in.
Okay, I'm not playing him this week for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That is completely fair. Also, yeah, Bradford's status is still up in the air, so I wouldn't want to wait till Monday night to find out if Kyle Rudolph's going to put up fucking 7 points or 2. So don't worry about it. Pick someone else up.
7 or 2. That's the most accurate thing you've ever said in your life. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for that game. Who are you taking, Don?
Minnesota.
Vikings.
I'm going to kiss some titties. I'm taking the Bears.
Wow.
That's so stupid.
Oh, yeah, it's real stupid. You know what? I'm rooting for Mitchell Trubisky. I
do like him, and he has looked awesome, but this is just he's going to get destroyed. Vikings defense is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's very good, but you know what? It's
kissing titties is one thing, common sense is another. I'm going to go with a minute.
I've had some beers. Life will go on. All right,
nay on Chicago.
Let's get into the listener questions so we can wrap this stupid podcast up. First one from Mac. I was offered Des Bryant and David Johnson for AJ Green. It's a 12-man, 1-point PPR league on ESPN. I had Dalvin Cook as my RB2, Lamar Miller is my RB1. I picked up McKinnon for this week on waivers. And I also have Alvin Kamara. Is this trade worth it? I'm 3-1 with the highest average score.
No.
Don, what do you think?
No. AJ Green trumps Des Bryant, and we don't even know when David Johnson's coming back yet. You can salvage something maybe with Alvin Kamara, and then if you're following Walsh's opinion on Jerick McKinnon, it is what it is. But no, I'm still not going with it. AJ Green is still – I'm keeping him.
Yeah, at that point, it's AJ Green for Dez, and like you said, Don, AJ Green trumps Dez.
Yeah, hard nay for me.
Nay.
All right. Next question from Les. I was offered this trade in a 1-point PPR league. It is also a 1-player keeper league. My starting roster is Breeze, Brown, Michael Thomas, McCaffrey, Jordan Howard, Delaney Walker, and Emmanuel Sanders in the flex. So he would receive LaShawn McCoy, Travis Kelce, Amari Cooper, and Golden Tate. Holy shit, this is a blockbuster.
Yeah,
I hadn't read this before. And he would give up Antonio Brown, Delaney Walker, and Christian McCaffrey. I need a moment to process this. I don't know if you guys have immediate takes.
I would say no, just because you're giving up Antonio Brown. Amari Cooper has been a big disappointment already. Golden Tate is, he's decent, but Michael Thomas is also your second wide receiver who could be your number one. He's been very streaky already. I would say keep Antonio Brown. Delaney Walker is still going to be possibly top 10 tight end, and Christian McCaffrey. You're in a 1-point PPR league, so Christian McCaffrey even has more value there. So I would keep your 3 against that.
I'm going to do this trade because I know it sucks to give away Brown, Don, like you said, but Delaney Walker, fucking whatever, and you get Kelce back anyway. He's going to be top 5 more so than Delaney Walker. Christian McCaffrey has been not good at all. I don't buy him like on the back end improving at all. I think they're kind of set in their ways on offense. So I love McCoy. I love Kelsey. You're buying low on Amari Cooper. That's kind of whatever, and a nice like deal sweetener for you. And then you get Golden Tate you can throw in every single week. So I really do like this trade, and I think I would absolutely do it.
Yeah, I think I would do it in a heartbeat. I think you're winning it, no question, if you take that trade.
Yes.
All right.
I think you question it, but okay.
Shut up, Don.
Fuck your color.
All right, last question, and then I swear we're done, you guys. So from Nathan, who should I start this week, Golden Tate or Doug Baldwin? Can't play both. So
Tate.
Again, that's Tate against
Panthers,
and then it's Baldwin against the Rams. Don, you say Tate?
I'm still saying Tate. Tate is still Stafford's number one receiver, and Doug Baldwin's been going through quite a bit of injuries. I think Golden Tate is your safest play.
Vinny.
This sucks for me because you won't find out Baldwin's status until the 4:00 and the lines play at 1. So I think I would go with Don with the Tate play here.
I think if Baldwin's healthy, I mean, keep an eye on the practices, but like if he practices throughout the rest of the week, I'm going Baldwin here. Obviously, you guys are going to hear this on Friday, so you'll know that at that point. So if he practiced, I would play Baldwin. But if not, then go with Tate.
So we agree on everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the whole the moral of this podcast is that all of us agree on everything. We have no arguments whatsoever, and you guys can take our advice to the bank. So take it from there. You guys have any last words before we let the listeners go for this week?
Good luck to everybody. Enjoy your week 5.
Yeah.
Don?
No, I concur.
Don concurs. So with that being said, for Vinny and for Don, I am Walsh. This has been your Week 5 preview. Later, podcast.
This has been Let's Talk Fantasy Football. Thanks for listening.